Our third man on the crew is John Hadden. He is ringside with us to take a look at the standings and the playoff picture as we get very close to playoff time. John?
Thank you so much, Pat. Coming into the final weekend of the season in Western Region play, #1 seed already locked up with Bismarck taking the top spot in the Western Region after a 4-year reign for Century. #2 seed locked up last night as Minot was able to get it. These two teams battling for #3 right now as Bottineau Rugby behind Century in the standings. 3-4 Century, then Bottineau Rugby, followed by Jamestown, who's not out of it for 4th place either. And of course, Bottineau Rugby takes on Jamestown down in Jamestown tomorrow. So a lot of very consequential games coming into the final weekend of play here in the Western Region and over in the Eastern Region. It's just ridiculous. So it's hard to keep up on a lot of great action before we even get to those region tournaments coming up next week.
Let's go back down on the ice to John Hadden. John?
I was just standing outside the box where Troy Olson is hanging out, head coach for Century. He was disappointed there weren't more penalty minutes on that, looking for a 5-minute major on top. He thought that was a pretty severe hit, guys.
Well, John Hadden is with David Hoff, the head coach of the Bottineau Braves. Certainly a happy David Hoff with a 3-2 lead here at intermission. John?
Thank you very much, Pat. And Coach Hoff, after a period where you jump out to a solid lead and a high-scoring first period, is it good to see that your guys have their legs under them after playing just last night on the road?
Yeah, actually, that's probably one of the biggest things this weekend is just to see where it fits in terms of playing actually 3 days because we've got to come back tomorrow. But like what I saw so far in the first period, we just got to see if we can maintain here in the second.
What's been the key to getting those scores so often? 3 goals in the first period against one of the better defenses in the state.
Yeah, you know what? We expect our top line to get their chances, but I really like our second unit was real good. I thought we got a lot of offensive zone time. We actually got a goal out of them there, the third one. So if we can get that second unit giving us a little bit of offense too, it's going to really help out.
Coach, good luck in the second period.
All right, thanks.
Coach David Hoff, let's get it back up to Pat. Well, thanks, Pat. You guys talk about what a high-scoring game this is, and actually for Bottineau Rugby, they're more used to this style of game. Riley Monson's number's not as good on the season, but he's averaging 36 shots faced per game compared to 21 per game for Abfalter. So Monson's used to this. Abfalter's not, and it's showing.
Let's go down to John Hadden, who's on the ice. John?
Well, thanks, Pat. This is our first time broadcasting from the Lumber Dome here. We've been to Bottineau many times for football and basketball, but now we get here for hockey, and the atmosphere inside this building is electric. You can see why, with Bottineau Rugby losing 7 games on the season, 6 of those losses have come away from the Lumber Dome. They're hard to beat here at home.
Let's go back down onto the ice with John Hadden. John?
Thanks, Pat. We know what kind of an athlete Harrison Ade is, and we were real disappointed when we were here in the football season that we didn't get to see him due to a wrist injury. But everyone said he'd be back for hockey season, and he certainly is. A hat trick tonight, state's leading scorer, and it's the same injury he had a year ago, a wrist injury during football, but back in full force for hockey season.
Let's go back down to John Hadden. John?
Pat, you mentioned the 3 goals for Fleetcheck, and when you look at scoring for Century, you have to look at the junior class. 5 of their top 6 scorers are juniors, and Fleetcheck carrying that on here tonight. Back up to you guys.